Agreed.
I definitely think it's easier to pick a direction.
Yeah.
Like I'm either going up or I'm going down.
Right.
And not try to do both at the same time. Like you certainly can. I don't know about what this at the same time really means. Like not in the same moment, but maybe like today you're kind of like you're at a caloric surplus and you're really sore and you're putting on muscle mass, and then the next 2 days like you were low and you lost some body fat, and you kind of goes up and down every day.
Right.
I think that's potentially possible. I don't know if any research has been done on that specifically, but
It's a tough one.
But it's just so much easier to just pick a goal and just go 100%, no 80-20, go 100% toward that one singular most important priority
get
goal.
Strong, and I would recommend this: get strong and maintain a body fat percentage. For a guy like that, maintain, because here's what you're doing: you're gaining muscle. So at the end of it, you've added muscle. Now cut it down. I mean, that's the way I would recommend. I think it's easier and more logical way, and it's better on your body. You'll be more anabolic, so you won't be breaking down all the time. That's the way I would recommend.
I think too many people look at losing weight as the problem when what the goal they're trying to really say is, I'd like to lose body fat.
Right.
Because nobody really cares about losing weight. They want to just be leaner.
You want to look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're walking around at 22% body fat, 20% body fat,
you
you're
can
like
lose some.
fucking jacked, but no one gives a shit.
Right.
Well, now it's time to maybe back the calories down 250 a day and see what that looks like.
That's what I would do, you guys. Don't you have the shreds thing?
Barbell shredded.
Yeah, I would do the 1-ton challenge and get as strong and as muscular as I could and follow it right up with that. That's what, if it were me training myself, that would make the most sense. I would add tons of muscle in the year that I did the 1-ton challenge. I would do that, get ripped, go to the beach, make all the girls look at me. Just kidding. Make my wife look at me more. And, that makes the most sense. So.
Yeah, I think having 6 to 12-month training blocks for specific goals is a good time frame.
Yeah.
It's enough time to make progress, but it's not so long where you're just totally fed up with doing the same thing over and over and over again. If you follow the yearly cycle where you gain weight and put on muscle mass kind of all winter long, and then you lean up for summer, and then you're it's heavy conditioning and whatnot over the summer, and then you put on weight through the winter, and you kind of you have that cycle where it's kind of 8 months of gaining muscle and then 4 months of getting lean.
That's awesome.
I think that's a great cycle for kind of the regular person. I'm not competing anything.
And results. If you want to get jacked on the beach, that would be the best way to do it.
Right.
So.
You mentioned a couple of terms earlier when you were talking the BMR, activity multiplier, things like that. Just a little clarification. The BMR is literally the amount of food that in calories you need to keep your brains and your organs and everything in your body. If you were just laying in bed all day, which is typically somewhere around a multiplier of 10, just laying in bed all day long. If you're a CrossFit coach and you're running 4 or 5 classes a day, now you have this thing called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Did I get that right?
Mm-hmm.
I just call it NEAT.
That's impressive.
That is the walking around and coaching your classes, and then your multiplier increases again based on the amount of exercise that you're doing and the program that you're following, the volume that you're following. And that's why getting on a real program with a nutrition protocol designed for it is so important, because when people call and they're like, what should I eat? And you're like, I don't fucking know. What do you do? Where are you at? What's your job?
Right.
How much do you move around in a day? But on top of that, it gets really confusing because your body fat percentage, your training history, so much of that is really important to just understanding where your metabolic rate is and how you process food. I mean, we just got done doing a show where I just ripped everybody that lives into this 80-20 mess. But I'm currently right now back to my 3 months of tracking macros, getting lean.
Are you really? I need to do.
I'm right on it right now. Come hang out with me,
I've
bro.
lost
I'll
a
do a
lot of
nutrition
weight,
challenge with you. Yeah, I'm back on it. It's great. I'm right around 2,300 calories a day. I try to be sub that, but I never really am. It's usually where it ends up just because I like eating food. My maintenance calories is somewhere probably around 25, 26 a day, 100.
So you're going a little bit of a,
just a little bit, just to get back. I mean, I feel like the majority of anything that I do when it comes to weight or losing body fat or anything like that, around the holidays, it's more just inflammation of shitty food, the extra drink that you get handed, and you're just bleh.
Yeah.
So coming around in the new year, I love just getting back to super lean and back to my normal life, and then the rest of the year it just carries me.
Lately, I've just been making some choices, lifestyle changes. My wife and I started out by doing. I've lost about.
Matt looks lean right now for everyone listening on the radio right now.
I've lost 15 since
Kid
we were in
looks
Sweden.
lean.
And so I only eat between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. So all it did right there is I cut down my macros. It's just make sure I don't get up at night and eat the brownies.
Yeah.
You know? And then I've been drinking more water, and literally, and then making wiser choices. But really, those are the only 2 rules that I've given myself, and started doing some cardio.
Yeah.
But which is burning calories. It really just comes down to burning more than I'm eating. That's all. If you talk to Lane Norton, has he ever been on the show?
Lane has not been on the show. Would love to have him.
Lane, come hang out.
He's my boy, so he would tell
Where's
you.
Where's he live?
He lives in Florida, Tampa.
Cool. Oh, we got to go to fucking Tampa. This is driving me nuts now.
We talk about it every day.
For multiple reasons. That
we hear about going to Tampa constantly. We got to go.
He would tell you that when it comes to like fat and calorie and carbohydrates, that they're interchangeable depending on the person. Like whatever you can stick to like some people prefer. I prefer fat. I prefer like ribeye steaks, and like some people prefer eating all the carbs. And so he said they're totally interchangeable. And he said one is not better than the other. That's crazy. He said it just depends on what can you stick to. What is that's the key.
Well, the real goal being when we interviewed Dr. Michael T. Nelson, which is something that I love doing because he's so smart. But the idea of metabolic flexibility and that it shouldn't matter. Your body should just be finely tuned so that if you're eating a high carb diet, your body can just instantly switch over to quick burning calories in the carbohydrates. And if you cut the carbs, you can up the fat, and your body can just instantly switch over to being a fat burner.
Lane would agree. He would just say, but some people it wouldn't be sustainable because they like carbs too much.
I'm not a carb person. I'm much better on the fat side, but when I go into my counting stage of the year, I up the carbs. It's just way easier for me because I get to eat more food.
Right.
And still, think I can't just go smash a whole bag of dates. Yeah, right. I'll crush that right in my macro range.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah, oatmeal with some sugar in it, as long as it lines up.
It's so easy to add carbs to your meals. Like if you just have like a rice cooker and you always have rice on hand that you can add to anything and everything. If you just have a bunch of potatoes, they're just always in your fridge no matter what. You can take a big scoop of mashed potatoes or just take a raw potato and just microwave it for 5 minutes, then you just have a potato. Like it basically costs nothing.
Yeah.
And it tastes fantastic.
Calorically, carbs are so rad. Like you can eat a lot of eat a cup of rice and you're kind of full. That's when the eating gets hard, when you're looking at it, you're like, fuck, I gotta eat 2 cups of rice right now. A lot of people think that carbs are bad for you or you have to eat so many. It's like, well, if you just ate the pure carb, the problem is you're eating the carb in a cookie form, and what a cookie is it's sugar and butter melted together. And that's when things get really wild, when you start tacking on 12 grams of fat per serving plus the 25 grams of carbs. It's not necessarily just the carbs problem.
That's my favorite thing about Lane is like how he doesn't care how anyone eats. He just hates the terrible claims. Like the carnivore people would be like, it cures cancer. The vegans will say it cures cancer. And he's like, and he just rips them apart. Yeah. And he uses research. You can't argue. Arguing with him is like, fighting the wall. Like there's nothing in it for you. You can't win that. And I just see, I love
fighting the wall.
If you want to have a great night, say you're bored one night, you have nothing else to do, just get on Twitter and watch Lane execute people. And every time I'm like, why would you engage him? You're going to be made a fool of. Like you're going to gain nothing. You're not gaining. If you gain a follower, that's not someone's buying from you. They're following you to laugh at you,
to come at you.
Yeah, there is nothing in it for you. Like he is brutal.
He's so aggressive too.
I love it too. People get mad at him and
it's hard to come after him because he also squats 800.
He's strong. I don't know about he deadlifts a ton. Deadlifts like 7.
I thought I saw some big squat videos coming out of him recently.
I think 650. He's strong. You know, but I've known him.
As soon as you say 800, Matt's like, he's not me. He's not even fucking
He
close.
knows good and well.
Get him to slow down.
Yeah, slow the roll, son. But Lane is. I've known him since he was 19. He was in. No, wait, that's probably a lie. I was like 21 years old.
Yeah.
And he was already doing his PhD, and he was super smart then. And I knew at that moment, I was like, I'm gonna stay friends with him. This dude seems to be way smarter than I am about this stuff. So probably good to keep him around.
Yeah.